And welcome to my weather show here on a Tuesday. Lots to talk about here, folks. So let me get started and not delay you any longer than I have to. Alexandria Tower Cam view from Sunlight Broadcasting on Texas Street. We're looking to the west, seeing the glow of the sun, which is just set, but we're seeing clouds increasing from the southeast. Let's go to the southeast towards Stellies and LeBeau, where it is mostly cloudy down at that point in St. Landry Parish. And by the way, if you're down there, get you something good to eat. Toledo Bend, clear sky, the opposite direction. So the clouds have not worked their way up in that direction. So right now with our Tower Cam network, the three views I just showed you, telling you and showing you how the weather's in a state of flux, in a state of change right now as the moisture is increasing once again here across the area. So radar showing some rain to the east of us. There's not much of it there, but it is eventually going to move this way. I think it will take it a while, but probably sometime tonight we'll start to see the first sprinkles or showers, especially south and east of the Alexandria Pineville metro area. And of course, it's interesting what that's associated with, the remnants of Rafael still in the Gulf of Mexico. And really quick look up to the northwest where we find energy on the move here. So another storm system is on the move in our direction. Rafael will get picked up with that and shunted off toward the northeast, but its moisture will play a role in once again bringing us some rainfall. Some of Rafael's moisture got stripped away from it this past weekend, which is one reason we got such heavy rainfall. We had a little tropical high octane fuel to go with that. This time it'll be a little bit weaker and not exactly the same kind of pattern, but Rafael comes back to stab us a couple of times. So yeah, some folks didn't even know he was still out there. Futurecast in the short term for us. Notice the overnight, a few hit and miss showers by the time you go back to work and school in the morning. Wednesday morning commute could be wet in some locations, but the rain will be hit and miss at that particular time. There'll be a bit of an increase before it starts decreasing during the nighttime hours as you head home. Expect still a couple of showers in the area, but a pretty quick clearing trend working in Thursday behind a cold front, which will make a difference. We'll bring some temperatures that you'll like. Upper level features, all important. Here's one big disturbance. Remember, weather change, weather change, weather change, weather change, weather change, as these big pieces of energy work through the area. This is valid for Wednesday midday. This is the system that's going to open up the Gulf. So what I showed you on the tower cams is already in motion because of this system lifting out of the Rockies and into the plains tonight and tomorrow. It is opening up the Gulf of Mexico, creating a south-southeast flow, and that's where the clouds are coming from. I'll go a little bit forward on this as we see the next system setting up here, but look what happens in the Caribbean. A tropical system developing down there. And again, this is a pretty big system out to the west. You'll bring another change as we head into the latter part of the weekend and early next week. But once again, this high pressure is holding pretty strongly, and it will dissipate much of the energy from this system or shun it to the north of us, but will still be affected once again. Remember, forecasting rule, it doesn't have to come overhead to affect your weather. It can reach out and touch you from a ways away. Another thing I want to show you here is a lot of folks wonder, how are hurricanes and tropical systems steered? What are these steering mechanisms we talk about? Well, these are much larger systems like this and these big high pressure ridges. You can see how much bigger this system is than the tropical system. And yeah, that's why it has its way with them and tells them where to go. All right, checking out your overall setup for tomorrow. Once again, we'll have a little frontal boundary, a little jet dynamics. Not as much moisture, but a little moisture from Rafael. That will set the table once again for another round of showers and thunderstorms, but nothing like what we had this weekend. However, with such low soil tolerance of moisture, flash flood risk is not zero. It is marginal, according to the Weather Prediction Center across central Louisiana. And one of the reasons is, again, the soil tolerance is very low. We also still have some river systems in flood, particularly the Calcasieu and some river systems to the south. And so here's my rainfall pattern, the expectation for tonight, starting tonight and continuing through Wednesday. Generally, if you look off to the west, you'll find our lowest probability, I'm going about 40 to 50%. That implies scattered rain, not for everyone. So portions of Sabine, Vernon, Beauregard Parish, we'll see not everyone getting rain. In fact, even Natchez Parish, rain likely, but some folks get left out. Likewise for Allen Parish, 60% means some folks get left out. generally steadily as you head to the east, rain coverage increases. Got a lot of 90%, 80% here for the metro area. And once you head over toward the Mississippi River, I've got 100% out for Faraday and Vidalia. How much rain this time? Well, much better than last time. Less than an inch for most of you, I think. And then 2 to 3 inches will still be possible. There will still be a few folks get a heavy thunderstorm or two or a little training or something like that. Although this pattern is pretty progressive. The last system, you could put a turtle in third gear and he would have outran that system on for Saturday. But this one is progressive. It's going to move through, get in and get out. So that will limit the rainfall totals. There's also a severe dimension to this. A marginal risk across part of the area, basically say the eastern half of Central Louisiana, along the line from Kinder, Oakdale, up through Alexandria, Pineville Metro, and then curving on toward Gina, between there and Olla. Along that line and east, the potential is a little higher than it is to the west, and there certainly doesn't rule out severe weather if you're in the areas to the west of this outlook. A rogue severe storm or warning could be issued there, but the probability of the chance be more to the east of there where it's outlooked here. So severe threats, not really everything on the table with this one. The overall threat, of course, is limited. Everything is limited. You see no tall bars here. In fact, I took the hail even out. It's not really a severe hail pattern, but there is a little bit of a risk of some additional flooding. If you're one of those folks who could get a couple of inches rain quickly, you could have a few problems. Wind could be a problem from some of those storms. And I can't rule out a tornado or two with adequate shear and some adequate instability there. Both of those working together could create a very low-end tornado risk. So here are your probabilities. Level 1 out of 5 is the severe weather threat level. 5% risk of a damaging wind event, 60 miles per hour or more, basically within 25 miles of a point here in Central Louisiana, which would include your home, your school, or your work. And then going into tornadoes, there's a 2% risk, and then hail less than 2%. So you can see wind and hail, wind and tornadoes, the primary threats, and even that is very, very low. Monitor your weather sources just in case some warnings need to be issued. And finally, we've got a tropical dimension once again, folks, down in the Caribbean, where we're seeing a lot of cloudiness and convection there. It's disorganized right now, pulsing up here to the south of Jamaica. But again, that is pretty disorganized. But remember, once you create a volume of convection, it tends to lower the surface pressure, and then that creates more convergence into that low pressure area, and kind of like a feedback mechanism, and enhances the development of the convection. So here we go now with a 90% chance that something's going to develop out of that mess I showed you into the Caribbean. And of course, tropical models, I only got one. It's very early in the deal, but that does have a designation, AL99, in the Caribbean. And you see that this model pulls it up into the Gulf of Mexico, playing some antics down there in the Caribbean. But eventually, I think it will establish some type of trend. Many of the global models I looked at are showing this getting back into the Gulf of Mexico. Some ensembles are showing that as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's very late in the year for anything like that to happen, because now we're going to get a steady diet of fronts, and that should keep things away out of our forecast for now. All right, let's check it out. For your 7-day numbers, 80% average chance of showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday. The front coming through will move your rain chances out for Thursday and Friday, with mostly sunny days and clearing and cooler nights. Look at that. We got a couple of mornings there, Friday and Saturday morning, in the 40s. We'll start warming up Sunday in advance of the next weather system, which moves some chances of showers in early next week across the area, and temperatures remaining above normal. Now, there will be a next system after that next week, toward the middle of next week. That one may be carrying some colder air. I think Nick Mikulas has already mentioned this, and I think as always, basically, he's going to be right about that we'll see some chilly air maybe the latter part of next week. So maybe some gumbo weather coming up then. All right, that's it for this round. Nick Mikulas will see you in the morning, and I'll see you again sometime tomorrow evening around 5:30. Take care, and hope you have a wonderful Wednesday.